Okay, let's get started on the angle spacer. You should have the angle spacer drawn in Google Classroom. I recommend split screening between AutoCAD and your Google Classroom document so you can see the drawing and have it on your desktop as you're drawing the part, or some people just take a picture of it and have that open as well. So starting here, what we're going to do first is get started with a couple of things on your AutoCAD to make sure that your AutoCAD is set up properly. First off, this is the grid button. This toggles the grid on and off. So when I zoom out, that is my 0, 0 point because there's the X and Y. If you turn the snap mode on, it's going to make it set up to where your lines are going to be drawn from each point. Okay. If you check your right click on your snap settings and check, you can see that the setting is for 1/2 inch and the grid is for 1/2 inch. If you turn on your dynamic input gives you the ability to see the length of the line that you're drawing as you pull across the screen. So right now with my dynamic input on and the snap on, I'm able to draw each one of those lines in 1/2 inch increments. Now, in addition to this, I could use my coordinates. If I choose to draw a line and then type in my coordinate, I just need to come down to my command line and then specify the coordinate that I'm drawing to. Let's just put a 5, 4, and then it does a relative coordinate. So it's saying at 5 more units to the X direction and 4 units up, it's going to draw the next line. So you can use relative coordinates while you have dynamic input on. And that's why we reviewed that last week. So the other button that you can have on and off is the ortho button. If you have ortho on, ortho will lock in your lines, vertical and horizontal. Without ortho on, you can see I'm able to draw all kinds of diagonal lines. When I turn ortho on, it locks it in vertical and horizontal. And this sure does make it easy and quick when you're trying to go around and draw out lines pretty quickly. It makes it a time saver. With the screen down, you can see my erase button got a little erased. So I'm going to use my crossing window, go around everything. Remember, anything that green window touches will be erased. So let's start this drawing. So I'm going to look at the drawing. I'm going to pick this lower left-hand corner. Lower left-hand corner as my 0, 0. Okay, and I'm going to start there. I'm going to draw my first line. I'm going to come over to the left 3 inches and then up 1.5 inches. So I'm looking at the numbers that we have laid out here, and I want to make sure that I'm drawing those lengths. When I get to this point right here, since we don't know the angle that's specified here and we don't know the length of that line, we are going to draw a line up and over so we can then connect those two endpoints to get the length of the line. So we've got a little bit of math to do. We're going to take 2 inches. 2 inches is the overall height of the part minus the 1.5 inches, so that makes this 0.5. So we know that we're going to go up 0.5 over 0.75. And then we're going to come back and connect those two lines together in order to erase those these two legs in order to get this little section right here. And then we'll continue over 1 inch. And then I'm going to come back over to the left-hand corner and come up over, go all the way up to this point. I'm going to do the same thing, and then we'll finish this part off so we can just get a basic outline. Now, before I even get started, I'm going to look at the values that I have. So I'm seeing that my lengths are in increments of 0.25. So I'm going to choose to change my snap and my grid to 0.25 here. So that way it just makes it a little bit easier for the line command and using your dynamic input and just dragging the lines and seeing the values pop up. So I'm going to right click, go to snap settings, change this to 0.25. And if you just hit the tab button, it's going to change the one on the bottom. Come over here, change this one to 0.25, hit tab, and then both of them are now changed. So I hit OK, and you can see that the grid just changed. And with all of the snap on the grid, the dynamic input, and the ortho on, you should be able to see your lines draw the length. So I'm going to just, all I'm going to do here is just keep it really simple. Just pull the line over. The mouse is directing pulling the mouse to the right gives it the direction. So it's 3 inches at 0 degrees. I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to go up 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm at this point right here, so 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to go up another 1/2 inch, because this is that angle that we need to define, over 0.75. Okay, so we're here. And now I'm going to go back over to where that other line. So you can see the little green box. That is your endpoint. So it's just going to pick that. And then I'm going to right click and hit cancel. So then that way I can start over. You can go ahead and select those lines right now and erase them. Or you can do that at the very end. So back to my line command. Pick this one up, and then we're going to go over 1 inch, and I'm going to stop there, hit enter. So I'm right clicking there on my mouse. I'm going to come back to my line command, and I'm going to go down to the lower left hand corner. So I'm going to be right here. I'm going to go up 1/4 inch, over 3/4, up 1/2. Let's see if I can make this a little bit smaller. I'm having a little trouble picking that and dragging it. Maybe it's because of the video. So I'm just going to move my AutoCAD over a little bit. Alright, so line, starting back at 0, 0. I'm down here. I'm going to go up 1/4 inch, over 3/4 inch, up 1/2, over 3/4 inch. And let's do a little math. So 1.25 minus the 0.25 there, minus the 1/2 inch there. That leaves me with 1/2 inch here. And then all I need to do is pick that endpoint, because that's already been established. That was at the end of my line. Is that right? Yep. There we go. So that is the beginning of that part. And now for the circle. The circle, because it's given to us diameter, I'm going to choose to use the diameter button. Now, read on the screen, it says specify the center point of the circle. Okay, so if we had a point where we knew where this was, we could actually pick that, but since we don't have anything to lay that out on, we're going to type in the coordinates. So the coordinates for the circle would be 3 minus 1 gives us 2, so it's 2 in the x direction and 1 in the y. So type in 2, 1, and that's our center point. And then the diameter is 1 inch. And that's it. So now you want to save this in your Z drive, and you want to name it Angle Spacer. And that's it for that drawing.